much, so I am not in Wargo any longer, just live there. But we travel with Juliana every weekend through Victoria. So that's why I have a motorhome, because I take my bed with me. Because motel is kind of disappointing sometimes, you know. Because if you don't get a good sleep, forget about the rest of it. Then you cannot present properly, and I'm very keen to deliver as I was asked to do. So we'll see how that will go. I hope that these boys will be able to set up the live streaming, because those people, some of them prefer to watch it from their comfort of their home, which is nice, especially in winterish night like this. But hopefully it will work out even better. Are we good to go? Yes. All right. Well, let's just have a word of prayer and ask the Lord to be with us. Lord Jesus, we want to thank you for this lovely Friday evening. Thank you for the beginning of the Sabbath. Thank you for the time you will spend with us, and thank you for this opportunity to talk about the relationship you established, and in the same time to remember that this is the day when you want to meet us as part of your family. So thank you, Lord, for being with us. In the lovely name of our Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. Amen. All right, let me just tell you what will happen in this weekend. I was invited by your pastor to come and have a small seminar about relationships. First of all, how to get into the relationship of right one. Number one, that will be something we will be tackling tonight. Depends how much time we spend on this. Hopefully in about next 45 minutes, we will be able to kind of cover everything what I had prepared for tonight. Tomorrow morning, we will be talking about the idea of God in the marriage itself, so how to make the marriage last and be successful. And tomorrow afternoon, after lunch, we will be talking about the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse, 4 things which destroy marriages, and why people are so afraid to get into a relationship, because these 4 horsemen are ruthless, and they're present, and they're destroying. Unfortunately, even the church people reach the number of divorces which is happening outside in the world as well. Just about 10 years ago, the average of those people who were divorcing in the world and in the church was probably just half of those who were doing it outside. Unfortunately, these days, 7 out of 10 religious weddings or religious relationships is falling apart. And the most tragic thing is that it's happening in the first 3 years of the marriage. So definitely we will talk about those 4 horsemen of the apocalypse tomorrow afternoon. So I'm just trying to make you aware that you should not miss that one, especially if you have questions. Now, relationships. As we go through history, as we go through time, even us who have a little bit of gray hair or no hair, we remember in our time, marriage was treated completely different. It was not what it is today. It developed into something what we don't know even how to analyze, because even scientists who are dealing with these things are actually puzzled many times how to define this. And you will see that actually whenever a woman needs man depends entirely on whether you are looking at individual survival, biological reproduction, or social interdependence. Those are the things which simply determine will you go into a relationship these days or not. And unfortunately, Australia became one of the leading nations where the average age for the boys to get married is 44, and the average age for the girls is 37. What is happening? People are scared of relationships. Well, 3 reasons. Number one, choice over necessity is something what they are deeply considering. So on the individual level, you will see that modern women do not need men to survive. They are very independent. They're going their own ways. They support themselves, and they don't like anybody to interrupt that safety. So financial independence, for example, women can pursue education, build career, and even purchase homes entirely on their own. So men, not needed. As you can see, safety and stability, what was present in the past, legal rights and modern security systems mean women no longer require a male protector for basic safety. You will see that some women are just doing fine, even better without a man than with men. So keep that in your mind. And then shifting dynamics in the society. Before, the woman was staying home. She was a mother. She watched the family. She raised the children and so on. That status completely changed. Because survival is no longer tied to the marriage, relationships have shifted from a basis of dependency to a basis of desire. So, partner in life became a commodity, something you, if you want, you can afford. You can go and have it short-term, mid-term, long-term, but usually the status completely changed. Women do not need men, but many still want them as romantic partners, companions, and equals. So there was a reporter who went out to the streets of one of the largest United States cities, and he asked around a little bit the young people and what their opinion about marriage and relationship is, and this is what they say.
What's up, guys? Aldo here, back again with another Man on the Street video. A new poll came out, showed that 60% of Gen Z men were single. So I came out to Santa Monica Pier to find out what the heck was going on. Do women need men?
Sometimes.
No. Yes or no? Do women need men?
Answer that. I don't even know. I can't answer that one. Like, I don't know.
I mean, do they need them? Occasionally, but do they want them? Yes.
Do women need men?
No.
What? Why?
I don't think either one needs the other in order for like their own personal development. But I think to definitely have a good life, they do. But in the sense of do they need them? No.
Well, didn't you just tell me that the gender equality was hurting us and that we actually do need each other?
We do need each other, but I'm saying like.
Do women need men?
No. We don't.
Why not?
We are capable of being happy without a man.
Wow, how does that make you feel?
She's got me, so.
He still makes me happy, but.
Do men need women?
No. I don't think so. Why? I don't know.
Do women need men?
No. No. No.
So why did you say that men need women, but women don't need men?
Because usually men are useless. Sorry. Okay.
Where are your dads? Where is your father? Where is your mother? I don't have anything else to say. It's ridiculous.
Well, a little bits and pieces of what is really going on, and that's a general trend, what we are seeing actually. A good old saying from the book of Amos is telling us, can two people walk together without agreeing on the direction? And the answer is definitely no. So that's one of the things what we need to look. So recommendation of the wise people from the past and those who are doing counseling and those who are counselors for years in marital departments, they say that don't marry a person you can have fun with. Marry a person you can suffer with. And that's where the problem actually starts. Because everybody would like to have fun, and that's a no obligation, no investment thing in life. But sometimes when you need to stick around a person for a sake of suffering, that is something what you would check twice before you go into a relationship like that. And that is not happening. That's one of the disabling reasons in life which actually cause the falling apart of the relationship, what we call marriage. Anyone can love you when life is good, when everything's easy, but when the money is flowing and the smiles come naturally, that part is simple. That's not the test. Love isn't proven on the best days. It's revealed on the worst ones, when life hits hard, when everything feels uncertain, when the future looks terrifying and you don't know what comes next. That's when you find out who is really there for you. So keep those things in mind, because we just want to see what basically is the recommendation. Can we have a healthy relationship in the 21st century? If we can, what that relationship is based on. And they developed, especially the Gottman Institute from California, who I studied with, and I actually represent tonight by presenting their material, is those people who actually came up with this sound relationship house, which they say that it has 7 stories. We will talk about this a lot. 7 stories of successful relationship, and we will analyze that step by step to see how that really works. Number 1 step, what they are trying to bring our attention to, is building and following love maps. It means that love should still be involved in the relationship. That's number 1. A strong love map helps couples in few ways: strengthen emotional intimacy and trust. Without that, unfortunately, 2 people will not stuck together. Navigate life's ups and downs with mutual support that will be all supported by love, which need to be a fundamental issue in those relationships. Prevent disconnection and misunderstanding is something they need to work on. And you probably, as I'm presenting this, you are going through your mind and you are saying, well, wait a minute, Pastor, is that it's easier said than done. Because those are things, when everything is fine, it's fine. But when things get hard, it's very hard to keep up with these things. Why is that so? Because you see, the purpose is to build a deep emotional connection that strengthens their relationships over time. It is a process. Nobody was born with any kind of map or knowledge or education in his pocket, which guaranteed him that he will be married for 50 years to the same woman or to the same man. So resilience and connectedness is coming as a result of mutual growth and mutual investment. So the second thing in that building, number 1 was love, as we mentioned there. Number 2 is share foundness and admiration. That's something what in today's relationships are actually very quickly lost. Fondness or lifting the other side or other person up in relationship and reassuring her or him that whatever he is doing is the right thing, is slowly disappearing, unfortunately, in this society. Maybe just one observation to the ladies tonight who are here for our presentation. Yes, I know sometimes you have troubles with your hubby, but he needs to become your hero in your life. It means that he needs to be reaffirmed for the smallest thing when he is done. Otherwise, he will collapse. Guys are very sensitive to that. They need to be heroes of your life. What does that mean? I know that sometimes you get tired of that, but I already told him, that I love him. If anything changes, I will let him know in that basis. But that's not what they are waiting for. If they just hanged up the brand new kitchen you have, or they just fixed your car, or just did little things, or fixed your breakfast before you run to your work because you were late, you slept in, those things need to be rewarded. Men's are that kind of people. Fondness need to be visible in relationships. In the same time, admiration. Both sides. Yes, I know sometimes in the beginning when we get married, that is more present, but then slowly we kind of turn that off. But that's not what really should happen in our relationship. That is something what need to stay there, because that is what is keeping the relationship together as a glue. A strong relationship thrives of admiration and respect. Without that, it will be just two people living together, basically sharing the house or just the time together or getting together for a common meal. The big question: why is that so important? Well, it's simple. Expressed appreciation for each other, both in words and actions, will reinforce few things. And number one is trust. Without trust, you will not last too long. Once trust is lost, it will be very hardly regained back. Emotional security is number two, what you need to work on it and make sure that you are safe in the presence and relationship you are enjoying with the person you are doing. And of course, love. When I say love, it's unconditional love, where you will be there for that person in good and in bad, as you just promised when you got married. Small daily affirmations will make a partner feel valued, seen, and cherished. Those are the things which are very, very important to be present. And compliments, gratitude, and recognizing each other's efforts help build a foundation of positivity. Yeah, but you will probably ask me, well, Andrew, how can we make that happen when the world out there is so gray and everything is going downhill? So that affects us. So when I come home and I talk to my wife and I found her that she's already grumpy, how can we keep up with this positive spirit? As we said, that building has 7 stories. So we are just coming to the next one very soon. And you will see that there need to be more pillars you build your relationship on. Respect ensures that both partners feel heard and valued even during disagreements, which actually means that listening with an open heart. And that's where guys go sometimes wrong. In my personal experience, when I counsel people, when they come into my office, that's one of the biggest problems. When the ladies are complaining about husbands, you know what they say? I'm talking constantly and he doesn't hear me. Because you just block it out. You think that she's just wasting her time telling you stuff. But actually what it says, listening with an open heart means brings a million positive points to the relationship. And supporting each other's growth. It's easy to love somebody and be there for somebody when everything is going well. But when you see that the other side is struggling, when something is not so good, when something is actually not happening as it's supposed to happen, you need to be there for that person to support and help her or help him to get out from that hole. If he doesn't receive that help firsthand inside of the marriage, inside of the relationship, he or she will walk. That's where cooling off starts. And then handling conflicts with kindness is one of the most important things. So try to be less reactive in the relationships. I know that sometimes when circumstances come to you and circumstances are just pressing you and you are not really in the good mood, and now plus on the top of that you need to take care of the relationship you are already in, it's very difficult to do that. But don't forget these principles. By prioritizing admiration and respect, couples will create a safe and loving environment that strengthens their bond and deepens their emotional connection. Without that, the relationship will not last long and it will be not there to be supported. And then one more thing, what is coming, that is lack of value, will deprive those in relationship of valuable time they're supposed to spend together. Number one killer of the relationship is no time together. And that's when they come into the counseling office and they're trying to reignite marital relationship and things they are going through life, one of the things we immediately ask and we try to actually encourage people to do is to spend more time together. Go away for a vacation. Break that pattern. Find a time to set it apart where you can just spend that one day or that one meal with the person you love. Because lack of time will create a lack of value as well. So, principle number 3, turning towards instead of away. In the time when a person is dating, when he's looking for somebody who will be part of his or her life, turning towards instead of away is giving a fair chance to everybody to become what you are expecting to have. What does it mean to turn towards your partner? Well, turning towards your partner means responding positively to their bids for attention, connection, and support. And that is not happening. If you are eating your popcorn on one end of your sofa and she is eating the popcorn on the other end of the sofa, and in between you there's a dog, there's a problem. The problem is that you are not achieving attention, connection, and support. These bids can be verbal, sharing thoughts or asking for advice, or nonverbal, a smile, a touch, or seeking eye contact, depends on your love language. Because that's one of the things where people also make a lot of mistakes, because you need to really find out the person you are trying to bring into your life as a partner or future husband or wife. What love language is he or she responding to? If she is a flower girl that she admires flowers to receive every Friday before Sabbath, don't bring her chocolates, because you will have a problem. She will never be thankful. She will just put them aside and probably give it away when somebody comes around, because that's not what she expects. If she's just a person who lives and thrives to be admired and uplifted with positive words, or maybe she is a huggy bunny, as some people are calling her, that she likes to be touched, loved, embraced, and you keep bringing her flowers, again, you will miss the boat. You will be not able to achieve what really you're supposed to. So when you turn towards your partner, you reinforce emotional intimacy and trust, strengthening the foundation of your relationship, and that is something what is working in your favor. So why is turning towards important? Number 1, because it builds emotional security. Shows your partner that they can rely on you. The number 2, strengthens connection, creates a habit of mutual support, which is extremely important. Prevent resentment and distance, helps avoid feelings of rejection. And number 4, enhances relationship satisfaction, fosters a deep sense of love and appreciation. Principle number 4, the positive perspective. So those are the things you are looking into a person you want to spend the rest of your life with. So that is very crucial to happen. The positive perspective means that in relationship refers to seeing your partner and your relationship in a positive light and even enduring difficult moments. If a relationship which you are trying to build is not tested with difficult moments, it will probably not last. Because the first shipwreck on your way, the first emotional upheaval, the first fight or disagreement will break that relationship. But if you learn to have problems together and solve them one by one, that will bring a strength into both of you, and it will actually help you to go through and achieve what you want. It means giving your partner the benefit of the doubt, focusing on their good intentions, and maintaining a hopeful and optimistic outlook. When couples cultivate a positive perspective, they approach challenges with teamwork, reduce conflict, and strengthen their emotional connection. So that's very basic but very fundamental in the same time. So why is the positive perspective important? Enhances relationship satisfaction. Simple as that. And it goes on and says, couples who maintain a positive view of each other feels happier and more fulfilled in their relationship. That's how it works, and reduces negative interpretations. Instead of assuming the worst, you see mistakes as unintentional and respond with kindness. So, also it improves conflict resolution, meaning that you just learn to be patient with the other side. A positive mindset helps you in your approach in disagreements with openness and patience. Well, that is all, we will say, a school book example, and you could read that home by yourself without me presenting this to you. Why is it important to have that and discuss that in a group between other human beings? Why is need to be alive? Well, simply because human beings are alive. And relationships are built on two individuals who are alive. So it means that once you are running with somebody in any kind of relationship, right one or struggling just to make it work, you need to remember that one simple thing, and that is that on the end of this relationship, there's another human being. So that's why it needs to be a respect on both sides towards each other. Otherwise, you will just become a number, a nameless number, and that will not help you in your relationship, and you will never be able to build anything which will last. Builds also emotional security. When you assume the best about your partner, trust and intimacy deepens. Don't let other people come in between you with their opinions trying to break that up. Because sometimes jealousy can jump in and people just simply want to ruin because they're jealous on your happiness. Strengthens long-term commitment. A hopeful perspective makes it easier to navigate challenges and stay connected. That's incredibly important. Long-term commitment will not happen unless you see the relationship as an investment. It means it's worth to spend the rest of your life with that person, and you work on it. You invest into that person, and you keep him or keep her as an investment. That immediately means value. So how to cultivate a positive perspective? Number one, practice gratitude. Regularly express appreciation for your partner's efforts, big or small. Reframe negative thoughts. Instead of assuming negative intent, ask yourself if there's anything, another explanation. Don't take things just granted because they look like. Focus on the strengths. Remind yourself of what you love and admire about your partner. Very, very important things to stay there. Number four, use kind and gentle communication. Approach conversations with warmth and understanding. Every single sentence here, which we mentioned here tonight, deserves a discussion. Unfortunately, we don't have that much. That's what I was saying to your pastor when he invited me to talk about these issues, where to start and where to finish, because relationships are endless discussion subjects we can spend years and years and years talking about and never finish, because it engages in positive interactions daily. That's very, very important when we are talking about that. So coming up with point number 5, we can fix this. Relationships, unfortunately, something what we don't see much in these days, and I see that going through my office when people are coming in, people simply, once they run into the first problem in their life, they are really ready to give up. They don't want to fix it anymore. They don't want to work on it. They don't want to give another chance to that person. They don't want to see it happen because simply they just think that there is another opportunity. So these are the 5 essential steps for resolving conflict in healthy way. Number 1, calm down and prepare. Number 2, we need to express your feelings and needs for clarity. And I will explain that in a minute. Number 3, listen with empathy. Number 4, find a compromise or solution. Repair and reconnect. All these principles will be implemented only under one condition, and that is when you see a value in another person. It's worth doing it. Otherwise, you will not waste your time. And that's how this modern world actually works. So, the gentle startup in arguments, something what so many people don't know how to do it. Because when that rah-rah starts in relationships, when somebody raises its voice and starts yelling at the other one, usually the other person yells back. The gentle startup is a communication technique. What I would like to suggest to you, that if you're working on a relationship, you have any struggles, you are already committed or not yet, that technique is designed to help couples to approach conflict with kindness and clarity. You don't need to kill each other by the end of the conflict, okay? They don't need to be casualties. It means that you can resolve that with kindness and clarity. So it's developed by Dr. John and Julie Gottman, as I mentioned to you, from the University for Marriages in California. And they simply developed this method which prevents conversations from escalating into arguments. Because once it's an argument, then you can hardly control that whole thing. So when partners begin discussion with gentleness and respect and understanding, and even one more better way for you Christians is that if you start your conflict resolution with a prayer, your chances to fix and resolve the conflict are much higher. And that's what you really want. So, why does it matter what I'm telling you this evening? Because a harsh or critical start often triggers defensiveness, stonewalling, withdrawal, and that all can damage relationships over time. And if you are in a relationship, you know exactly what I'm talking about, because it happens almost in every one of them. But the general startup can help, number one, to reduce defensiveness by framing concerns in a non-blaming way. We will be talking about that a little bit more tomorrow afternoon, how to bring those techniques into our life where you can actually calm yourself down to the point that you are able to control the conversation. Encourage open and honest communication without triggering negative reactions. Very, very, very important. Then promote understanding and problem solving rather than emotional escalation. That is possible only when you see a value in another person, as I already told you that. So keep that in your mind. Strengthen emotional connection by fostering respect and empathy. I wish I have time to tell you about every single one of these things, because that's very, very, very crucial. That's why so many relationships, marriages, and datings are falling apart these days, and so many people are staying alone and finishing their life alone without ever experiencing a true relationship. So, what to say on the very end of our conversation today when we are talking about the conflict repair? Is there any guidelines? Well, I would just say few which I would like to bring it together. Number one, take a pause and reflect. Don't be reactive. Count to 10. The good old Romans found that method. They said that if you have any problems and your emotions are high, count to 10 before you say anything. Before addressing the issue, take a moment to cool down. Ask yourself,
Am I ready to listen and not just defend my point? And then comes point number 2. Take responsibility for your part. Because once blame happens, once you are looking for a way out from the relationship, you will blame everything on the other person. You will never take blame for anything what happened. Acknowledge how your words or actions may have contributed to the conflict. And that is something what you are working. Use the I statements to express ownership. For example, I realize I was dismissive, and when you shared your feelings, and you can say that. And then comes point number 3. Express your feelings without blame. You can say that you are hurting. You can say that bad things happen. But in the same time, you don't need to blame the other side. Communicate how the conflict affected you without accusing your partner. And I give you an example right there. I felt hurt when I didn't feel hard during our conversation. Very simple. I felt hurt when I didn't feel that. Number 4, listen to understand, not to respond. What was really going on? Because most of the time when your emotions are rised up or aroused, your brain blocks out, and your cognitive thinking and decision making is not really good and not really there. And you are making wrong decisions and assumptions on what really went wrong. So for that reason, you need to listen to understand, because you might be, in most of the cases, misunderstanding the other side, and that's how it works. So don't respond until you completely understand what is going on. And that will give your partner space to share their perspective. Practice active listening by summarizing what they said before responding, which means you will give them full freedom to respond without fear. Because in most of the cases which I handled in my past as a counselor, I found that the other side was always afraid of this side. And that completely authored the relationship into something we shouldn't be there. Number 5, find common ground and offer a repair attempt. Try to see how can we work this out. Identify where you both agree or what you both want for the relationship. And use repair phrases like, I didn't mean to hurt you. Can we try this again? I care about you and I want to make this better. And trust me, it works. Once the other side see that you are willing, it will completely turn out on a different way. Point number 6, work on a plan for the future. Once you learn that this is a path you went down, it's not a good path, it is causing damage to your relationship, try to stop it and that it should not reoccur in your future. Discuss how you can prevent this conflict from escalating in the future and agree on changes that help both of you feel respected and valued. Incredibly good points you need to embrace in your life, which brings us to the 6th floor of that building which we are building about relationship, and that is turn dreams into reality. Don't talk about that days are coming once we will be happy. Happiness can be done today. Don't promise things for the future. It needs to happen now. So the power of dreaming in a relationship is beautiful. Every individual carries a personal dreams. And allow the person next to you, husband or wife, girlfriend or boyfriend, to dream, to expect something from this relationship, aspirations and life goals. In a relationship, these dreams influence emotions, behaviors, and long-term compatibilities. Because once you start to limit the individual, the individual will start feeling uncomfortable in that relationship. You need to experience full freedom, knowing that the other side completely agrees, understands, and loves what you're doing. because understanding and supporting each other's dreams strengthens, number one, emotional connection. Number two, strengthens your trust and shared meaning. If that is not present, the relationship, unfortunately, will not last. Encourage open sharing. Talk about your dreams. What are your expectations? How you want to see this relationship develop in the next 2 years? Where is this leading? Regularly talk about what exercises and motivates each of you. Be curious about your partner's evolving passions and goals. Try to support that and recognize hidden dreams. Help those dreams to become true. Some conflicts may be rooted in deep personal aspirations. Validate your partner's emotions even if their dreams differ from yours. Sometimes circumstances can mess up all these things in your life because maybe those dreams are not affordable, time-wise, financially, or many other ways, and then suddenly you need to cool it off. But don't throw the dreams away. Be there for those dreams, maybe not today, but let's work on them tomorrow when they become affordable. And that brings us to the support, and where you are simply there for another person without controlling them. Be a source of encouragement rather than pressure. Help your partner brainstorm ways to make progress, even if small steps. Celebrate their efforts, not just their end results. Be there and help and make and participate. Balance personal and shared dreams. Some dreams are individual, while others can be pursued together. You see, that is the beauty of the relationship, because all those dreams which are individual dreams in the beginning, they will turn into the dreams you will start sharing in that relationship once the trust is gained. And then finally, we are getting to point number 7, and that is shared meaning is created. Once you come to the point which is very obvious in relationships which are lasting for 20, 30, 40 years. You heard people saying that they are so close by now that they walk like the other side. They talk like the other side. They are almost like they look alike the other side, because those years made them to grow into one individual. They actually became somebody who is not different anymore from the other side. So the role of the shared meaning in relationship success is a strong relationship isn't just about love. It's about creating a life together that feels meaningful and fulfilling. When couples develop shared goals, values, and traditions, they strengthen their bond and build a deeper connection. So those are the principles I actually wanted to share with you tonight. If we are looking for creating a right relationship, we need to keep in our mind. There are 5 rituals for deepening that connection, which we will just briefly mention, and we will talk about that tomorrow a little bit more. Creating small, meaningful rituals in a relationship fosters intimacy, trust, and emotional closeness. That is growing together. That is morning and evening check-ins. Those of you who are already in a relationship, you probably remember that. Those of you who are looking into the relationships, you will probably experience that in the future. And that is that you will be not able to take another breath without giving a call or without writing a text or something until you check how is the other side doing. That's normal. That's how it should work. And then one more thing which is so crucial but so missing in relationships these days, that is weekly quality time. And I know that sometimes when you are religious and you have your Sabbath, as we Adventists do, many times you think, well, the Sabbath is when we cool down and we have time together. Well, Sabbath belongs to the Lord. So you need to find time extra on the top of everything. Yeah, but my husband is busy. He needs to work. Yes, that's true. And you need to work as well. Then that is true as well. But without finding a quality time together, the relationship will cool off and it will be actually dismantled. Celebration rituals, those little things, we are 15 days together. Our date is going on for 3 months already. Oh, praise the Lord. That's wonderful, isn't it? Or our marriage. I just remember just talking to one of my colleagues, a young pastor who got married, and his wife was not in Australia. And one day he just came up with the idea, and I just asked him, when is his wife coming to Australia? Because, it's very, very sad to see a man so lonely and so alone when you have a wife, but you don't have a wife. And he said, Pastor, she's coming in 13 days, 7 hours, and 14 minutes. That's something what we need to know. Celebrating rituals in our life, once it happens, we need to make it significant. And then expressing gratitude daily, that's something incredible. Something what happens, small things, not big things, small things make complete difference in relationship. It becomes a habit to share something you appreciate about each other every single day. And number 5, shared goals and dreams conversations. When you get together, what are you talking about? That's very important. Regularly discuss your appreciations individually and as a couple. That's so, so important. Which brings us just to announce before we go into the session of questions. Tomorrow morning, how to be married and stay happy. A good subject we will study tomorrow morning in our regular church time. So encourage your friends to be here, because I think they are just shy. They don't want to tell us that they need to work on their relationships, but I believe that they can learn some things. I believe that we learned some things tonight as well. Though it was very brief and it was basically running through a soccer field with many balls, I just want to say it will be probably something I wanted to share with you tonight. So now I want to talk to you if you have any questions regarding what I was saying, because I know that I said a lot. In the same time, you are tired because it's Friday evening. So if you are able to remember anything and you have any questions, I'm happy to answer those questions. Otherwise, I see you tomorrow morning. Yes, sir. Yes. Well, you are just opening Pandora's box, and that is, it means that we need to talk about things which actually we carry on in our life.